Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to explain you about DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, DNS, and web server. So DHCP is a dynamic host configuration protocol which is followed by a router when a system enters into a network. Now, this DHCP server's duty is to identify the new nodes or the new systems that entered into the network and assign an IP address to them dynamically. And next one is DNS. DNS is a domain name system which replaces the IP and human understandable text, or in the text form you're going to name it. So that is DNS. And web server is the server which provides the service related to a web service. So let's try to create uh, this DHCP, DNS, and web server in a Cisco packet tracer, and let's see how they will work. They will try to assign an IP address, they try to access the DNS, etc. So let me consider systems first. Go to end devices, choose a server, a server. So I took a servers and I let me create three servers. One server will act for like DHCP. Let's name it. This, this server is going to act like DNS, and the last server is going to serve a web server or web service, whatever. And now they were connected to a switch. So go to a network devices, consider a switch, and let me consider another network that is connected to another switch. So I created switch one. Next, let's take some PCs that are connected to switch 0, two pieces. Let's assume two pieces are connected to switch 0, like three pieces connected to switch 0. And then let's take many pieces that are connected to switch 1. Let me connect all these. Uh, yeah, go to connections. Consider copper stripe 2 cable, switch 0 to DHCP. Then for the better understanding sake from switch, you consider the fast Ethernets in a serial order one by one. Now we connected a switch to servers. Then let's connect two PCs. The same way this PCs, PC3, PC4, PC5, 6, etc. is connected to switch 1. Let me connect all of them. So now let's assume that these two are two different networks. Say I'll write it down here, the names of the network. Say like I consider this network as 198.162.11.0. So this is a network where the servers are located. And let's take this right part as another network, which is say like 10.10.10.0. This is another network. Let me divide it pictorially. I will color them for a better UI. And yeah, let's take another color. That's it. Uh, Now, these two different networks. Now, for these two different networks, we need a connection. Two networks should be connected. So to connect these two networks, I'll use a router. So pick a router, go to network devices, choose a router, pick a router. Now connect the router with the switches. While you are connecting, please remember switch 0 is connected to a router with a Giga Ethernet 000. The same way, the other switch, I'm going to connect the router with Giga Ethernet 001 and the fast Ethernet 06. Now physical connections are done. You have to create a logical connections. Now, for a logical connection, we need an IP address for all the servers and a gateways. So, in order to get a gateway between the two different networks, a router is an intermediary device. So, for the router, see, a Giga Ethernet 00 is connected to a network 198.168.162.11.0. So, an address that is related to this network you need to assign for Giga Ethernet 000. The same way, for Giga Ethernet 001, which is connecting to a network 10.10.10.0, you need to assign an IP address accordingly. So click on router, go to configuration. First, let's set IP for Giga Ethernet 000. So I go turn on this port status and assign an IP to it 198.162.11. Say 1. The subnet mask will be generated automatically by looking at the IP. You can say that's a class C. So class C subnet mask is created like 255.255.255.0. Now Giga Ethernet 01, which is representing or which is connected to another network, turn it on, whose network is 10.10.10.0. So give an IP like 10.10.10.1. Since this IP is relating to class A, so the subnet mask is 255.0.0.0. Now, this is done. The connections from the router side is done. Now you have to assign an IP address for the servers. So let's take DHCP. The address for them will be under this network. So click on DHCP server, go to desktop, IP configuration, assign an IP 198.162.11. Say one is already given, type 2. Next, a subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Let me assign an IP to DNS server. Then go to desktop, IP configuration. The IP here is like 3. Let me give an IP to web server. It's like 4. Now an IP addresses are given to them. So let me present them here for our convenience sake. This is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Now we have assigned an IP, but something is missing here. That is, click on this DHCP server. Now go to IP configuration. You can see here default gateway means whenever they are trying to communicate the other networks, they are going through a router with a through a Giga Ethernet 001, sorry 000, where it is recognized with an IP that is 198.162.11.1. So that gateway you need to assign for this systems or servers. So click on DHCP, assign default gateway, which is 198.162.11.1. Then DNS, you already know the DNS IP. So give a DNS IP here, which is 3, 198.162.11.3. Now the IP configuration for DHCP is done. Now you have to do for DNS. Click on DNS, go to IP configuration, default gateway, the DNS, right? DNS it itself is the DNS. Next, web server. Go to IP configuration, know the default gateway for it, the DNS server address. That's it. You have done with IP configuration at the server side. Now, you won't assign IP addresses for the PCs in both networks. Why? Because we are creating DHCP to assign IP addresses dynamically. To assign IP addresses dynamically, it should have some IP addresses with it. So for that, we need to create a server pool. Server pool is a location where a bunch of IP addresses are held with the server. So click on DHCP server, go to services. You can see there are a lot of services. In that, please click on DHCP. Now there is a server pool with all zeros. Don't worry about it. You can use this, or you can create a new server pool. So click the service as on, DHCP service is on, and now server pool, name it like, I am naming it like A, server pool underscore A. The default gateway for it is, say, I will consider there are two networks we have. One is of class A, another one is of class C. So first I will consider IP address of a network of class A, which is 198.162.11.0. Sorry, it's a class C, sorry. So I'll consider it. So the default gateway for it is 198 192.168.11.1. So give the default gateway. You know the DNS is 3. Now starting IP is you have already used 1, 2, 3, 4 IP addresses. So the starting address should be from 5 and above. Okay. Sorry. Uh, yeah. So 192.198.168.11 dot you can queue from 5. Then this is the subnet mask. We already know. Then the maximum number of users, that is when a systems enter or host enters into the network, how many systems that it is going to assign IP dynamically. Say I take 30. So 30 systems that it is going to assign addresses. Now click on add. Now you can see server pool A is added, default gateway, DNS server, a starting address, subnet mask, the maximum users is 30. Now we created for this part of network. Now we need to create a server pool for the other networks, which is 10.10.10.0. So for that, so please click on the router, go to configuration. Oh, sorry, we are setting it for DHCP, right? Go to DHCP, go to services, go to DHCP. Now you create another server pool. So server pool underscore B, I am creating it. The default gateway for it is 10.10.10.1, you know, right? Then DNS is very much same. There is only one DNS server here whose IP address is 198.162.11.3. And then starting IP is 10.10.10. So we have used only one IP address in this network. So you can start it from a 2 itself. So I'll start it from 2 itself. Then subnet mask is, since it is class A, so subnet mask will be 255.0.0.0. Then the maximum number of users I give, say like 20, and then click on add. So now you can see server pool B is added. Okay. So now DHCP settings are done. Now you have to set DNS. Go to, click on DNS, check the IP. We have given the IP. Go to the services, click on DNS services. Turn on the DNS services. Now see here, there is a name and address. Say, for example, if an university is providing uh, a examination portal with some name, say like www.uni, some university, right? UNI exam.com. And the service, this is a DNS, right? This is a name, domain name given for the service provided by the server. This information will be available with DNS. And who is going to provide this is, there is a system which provides this exam service, and its address you have to present. Say there is a web server which is providing this service, and its address we know 198 or 198.162.11.4. Say we know this, right? So add this. Now you can see who added this. Okay. Now DNS settings is done. Close this DNS settings. Now go to web server. See, IP configuration we have done. There is nothing to do more here. Go to services. Click on HTTP. HTTP by default, HTTPS, HTTP are on. So no problem at all. Now the settings, whatever we have to do is done. Now let's take PC0, click on PC0, which is in the network that are available, the where the servers are available. Now PC0, now go to desktop, IP configuration. Now it's static. What we want is dynamic IP. Static generally, we or the network administrator is going to assign an IP, but DHCP is dynamically IP address are going to allocate. Now see the IP configuration for the system with the DHCP. Click on DHCP. Will get it or not? Requesting IP. See, DHCP request successful. We got the IP address 198.162.11.5 because we asked to start from 5. So it started assigning the IP from 5. So this is successful. This part is set. Now what we have to do is let's take the other network 10.10.10.0. I consider PC3 and try to request for IP address. Go to desktop, IP address, click on DHCP. So requesting IP to DHCP. DHCP failed, right? So failed. Why it failed is the request from PC3 will be sent to router 0, but the router 0 is not having any awareness to carry this request to DHCP because the packet is broadcasted from PC3 and it's requesting for IP, and this link is unaware of giving or transmitting this packet to DHCP. So this link we should create a helper. So for that, you click on the router. Please remember this Giga Ethernet 001. So please click on the router, go to Giga Ethernet 001, go to CLI command line interface. Now here, what you need is an IP, and the IP you should get it with a helper address, ADD address. Now who will help with the IP is the DHCP server, whose address is 198.162.11.2. Now this is a command which will help the link to understand that this is a server who helps with IP. Now that's it. Press enter. Now close this. Now try to do the same. Now open PC3. So let's wait for some time for establishing this configuration. Now click on PC3, go to IP configuration. Now click back to static and then save to DHCP. Now requesting for IP. Now see here DHCP request is successful. Now once if it is successful, we are very clear that DHCP is working for both networks. Now we need to check whether DNS and the web server are working or not. For that, let me close this. I am still in PC3. Click on web browser, and here in the place of URL, please type the service what you required: www.uniexam.com. So I think that's what I created. Let me check it. DNS exam, right? uniexam.com. So please type the same uniexam.com. Oh. Now the request will be transmitted to DNS and it reads this UNI exams. It know that this service is provided by an IP address 198.162.11.5 11.4, which is a separate server. It will carry that message, and the request will be provided by the web server. So here the Cisco packet tracer is open, which means that it is done successfully. So the Cisco packet tracer will be opened by default for whatever the DNS you give. This is a feature of provided by Cisco packet tracer environments. So that's it about DHCP, DNS, and web server. You can also check it for this end, okay, this part of the network for DNS and for web services. That's it. That's it for this video. I hope you understood every concept. Thank you.